Did you know that Microsoft have created an Xbox made out of pure gold, estimated to be worth $10 million US? They have buried this in a location secret somewhere around the world, and when the first person to achieve the milestone of 1 billion Xbox achievement points, they will be shown the location and where to dig it up. You're listening to the Xbox Hub Podcast, the official podcast of the TheXboxHub.com. For the latest Xbox news, reviews, videos, and opinions, make sure you visit the TheXboxHub.com. But for now, settle down, get comfy, and open your ears for some podcast delights. Hello, and welcome to the Xbox Hub Official Podcast, episode number 74. My name's Gareth Bryan. I'm going to be your host, and happy April Fool's Day. Because it's April Fool's, that's the day we're recording it. So, my usual fool on the hill on the virtual left is Mr. James Burks. How you doing, James?
Wow, what a great welcome. Thank you. It's great to be here now.
Good. Are you on a hill?
I'm so happy. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good. And our court gesture, Mr. Darren Edwards. How you doing, Darren?
I'll take that. I'm very well, thank
Terrible
you.
links. These are links, terrible, tenuous links to April Fool's. I'm very good, thank you very much. More importantly, you two, how's your week been? Darren, what have you been doing?
Work's been busy. For those who don't know, I work in that wonderful world of retail. So everyone's gone last minute Easter shopping. So busy. I managed to grab some of the sunshine which we've seen over the last few days. So that was nice, having some friends over in the garden, which has been a delight we've not had for, since before Christmas. It feels like years and years ago. So that's been really good. And watching Line of Duty, which has come back as well on Sunday nights. So I've been waiting for that for ages. And it was interrupted by the pandemic. So it's finally wrapped and on the telly. So just bits and bobs really for me.
I've got to see Line of Duty yet. I've never seen it.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah,
absolutely. They're all on the iPlayer. So I'd recommend just binging it. It's great.
I think I will. I definitely will. My partner, Bernadette, she's watched them all, so I need to watch them all. And you watched it, have you, James?
Yeah, it's really gripping.
Oh, okay.
You want to watch the next episode straight away.
Good.
Absolutely.
Every time.
Maybe that's what I'm going to do.
And you're also trying to work out what's going on. You want to make notes and go, oh, it could be him, or it could be her. Who is it? We'll find out soon.
Good. I like it. I like this straight away. I needed something. Maybe that's my Easter weekend. I'm not working. It's great. Good. James, what about you? What's your week been like?
It's been quite busy.
Oh.
But the most exciting thing was a 2-day concert. Virtual, of course.
Yeah.
For a Dreamcatcher, which is a Korean girl group.
Right.
And you're thinking, 2-day concert? How on earth can that be enjoyable? Well, I'll tell you how. Because they had two different concepts. There was one day where it was all stripped back. So like, what would you say? Ballads? Acoustics?
Oh, right,
a bit more
yeah.
showing off the vocals.
Yeah.
And then the second day, it was more their usual style, which is rock, quite hectic, and very upbeat.
Oh.
And it was money well spent. So I think it was about, was it 4 hours in total? Of songs.
What, 2 hours one day and 2 hours the next?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was fantastic.
I thought you meant it was all day long.
So did that for a sec.
I mean, I would still watch it if it was.
It was like Live Aid. That's what I would say. Wow.
But yeah, it was good.
And how much did you pay for that, James? Do you mind me asking?
I do mind you asking because I don't remember.
Okay.
Only because I ordered it and thought, I should have done that.
Right.
And I forgot what I paid.
But you enjoyed it. You still enjoyed it. That's right. Oh, good. Good. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
Good. I like your online concerts. Do you think when all this is over and the pandemic's done, would you still want to do online concerts? Do you think it's a good thing?
Oh, it's definitely a good thing.
Mm.
Because some of these groups will never come over here.
Yeah.
It's quite a fair way to go for a concert. But yeah, it works for me.
I think there's loads of things that I feel like, the way we've done things, like watch stuff. I think courses that people have done online, certain shows, they've sort of been with people from around the world they never would have had before. There's lots of things I think maybe might stay, or people have got audiences they never would have had before. So I think there's positives to take out of it.
Yeah, if nothing else, there's a small silver lining.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It would be a shame not to learn something from this and take away some positives, as you say.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Now, I have watched a TV series this week on Amazon Prime called Invincible. And Invincible is a show based on Robert Kirkman. Is it Kirkman who did The Walking Dead?
Yep.
His comic series he made in 2003. And Amazon have done the series. And so it's set, it has that, what would you say, that 90s cartoon visual style? Yeah.
Yeah, mid-90s.
Yeah. And it's got it follows basically this life of a sort of alternate, well, not alternate, but kind of a new lot of superheroes like Justice League, for example. And the main guy who's the equivalent of Superman, and the focus is on his son, who inherits the superpowers, and he just gets them, and then it's about his journey and trying to find out how to cope with being in that world. So it's a very well-trodden avenue, especially with the boys that have come out and the way people have looked at superheroes in a different way. But what it does do, which is quite clever, I liked, it puts you in a position you think, oh, what am I doing? I'm watching a sort of mid-90s superhero cartoon, and then it does something that really surprises you. And it sets a story. It's interesting. There's 3 episodes on at the moment on Amazon Prime. It's got a great voice cast. I can't remember anyone now, but they're in there.
There's a lot of Walking Dead actors.
Yeah.
On the cast list. Stephen Yeun.
Yeah.
He's the main character. Invincible.
Community. Who's the actress from the Community? Blonde hair.
Gillian Jacobs.
Yeah, she's one of the cast as well.
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons, yeah, he's one of the main guys.
Oh,
it's
Sandra Oh,
yeah.
Okay, I know them all.
You're just looking through Google, aren't you? I know what you're doing.
I wish I was.
It's good. I mean, it's not perfect. What do you think? You watched it, James, haven't you?
I think it's brilliant.
Ah, there you go.
I never, at first,
yeah,
the little deviation it takes from what you're expecting, I thought, oh, it's a bit of a gimmick, and it won't be able to go on from that, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
It's a bit of a one-trick pony, but it isn't. There's so many facets to the storytelling. You see it from different angles, and you wouldn't normally see the superhero world.
Yeah.
And I've seen 2 episodes so far, and they've both been great in equal measure.
Yeah.
Like you said, the voice cast is horrendous.
Mm.
And the characters, even though some are quite, let's say, familiar, there's a lot of interesting character designs, especially for the villains.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm addicted.
Oh, that's good.
I'm going to the 4th one tomorrow. I can watch 2 more together.
See, it's my recommendations, which are normally terrible, aren't they?
It's one good recommendation. You get one a year.
But we can't talk about it anymore without spoiling it, can we? So I think I've spoiled it a little bit in one of my comments, but yeah, it's definitely worth. If you're a superhero fan, watch it.
Stick with it.
Yeah.
For the first episode.
Yeah.
And then decide.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk about
That'll be enough.
We'll talk about it maybe properly with spoilers later on at some point.
And when the season's finished.
Yes, let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, before we go on, I just say when March happened, and at the moment the games are quite. We had that massive showcase we previewed last week, and games have been Not any big games have been delayed. There's not that much being shown and everything. But March was brilliant. I had played some brilliant games in March. It's a really good lineup of stuff. Indie games. What about you two?
Yeah, there was
noticed.
very different opinions then. Yeah, there's too much for me. As you say, there was a splurge of games all of a sudden. Loads I like the interest, like the look of that interested me, but I haven't managed to really scratch the surface. There's lots on the list. Again, the never-ending backlog has grown even longer, I think.
I know it's been some really good quality of stuff going out. What have you been playing this week, you two? Let's start with Darren. What have you been doing?
So the second expansion for Doom Eternal was released, and I reviewed it for the site and finished playing that, and it was really good actually. It's kind of the end of the saga that was started nearly 5 years ago now, since the Doom kind of remake came out. So I can't believe it's been that long. The Doom Slayer saga, they've called it.
Oh.
So it's the Ancient Gods Part 2 is the DLC, and it kind of brings it to a conclusion. So I won't say too much, but the first part of the DLC was a bit of a grind, really. For those who play Doom, there's an enemy called the Marauder who has just become and kind of a symbol of just pure frustration for anyone who plays the game. They're an absolute nightmare to deal with. So they are back, unfortunately, in this expansion as well, but a little bit easier to handle this time round. So it's well worth a look for fans, and if you lost track of it with the first one, I'd stick at it and get this one as well. I really enjoyed it.
It's a tricky game, Doom, isn't it? I found it really. I mean, it's for the casual player like me. It's quite hard to. I was struggling straight away. I think I was on easy mode and I was struggling.
Yeah, the difficulties are, so the middle difficulty, the kind of normal, is called Hurt Me Plenty, and that's a challenge in itself.
Wow.
And it's not just straightforward. It's not a straightforward FPS. There's a lot of tactics you've got to employ in terms of exploiting weaknesses for different enemies, and you've got to attack different enemies in certain ways. So use your flamethrower or your ice bombs to get health pickups and armor pickups. Otherwise, you just won't survive it. So you've got to kind of really kind of use tactics. If you just try and run in, you won't last very long at all.
Wow. Okay. Good. James, you're not going to play this, are you? It's a bit scary.
Do you what you think? No.
Was that free? That I know it's free. Is it free? How much did it cost the Doom extra?
It's a paid DLC. If you bought the Ultimate Edition of the original Doom Eternal, you get it included. But I think it's around 14 on its own. Okay. You might get a couple of quid off if you've got a Game Pass subscription, I think. So it is paid DLC.
Is it worth it? That much money?
I think it probably is actually. It's a bit shorter than the first one, but it's more enjoyable, and the kind of final battle against the Dark Lord is really well done. Actually, it's not a grind as I was expecting. Okay. It's actually quite well structured, so I enjoyed it. Yeah,
good, brilliant. That's good. Doom Eternal, something.
Ancient Gods.
Thank you, Raj. James, what about you? What have you been
playing? The first game is Harvest Moon Mad Dash.
Good.
I've seen you've all played it.
I played Harvest Moon a long time ago, but I've not played the newest one, I must admit.
But this is a spin-off from the main series. And you guide a character around like a confined area. And you've got to grow crops in order to fulfill orders and earn points. And to grow the crops, you've got to pick up different shapes and patches and like combine them together. And you're up against the clock, so you can't get a dally. You've got to be quite quick. It's a matching game basically. And you're starting with growing tomatoes and pumpkins, and it gets a bit weird because then you've got cows coming to it. And you've got to feed the cows while harvesting tomatoes and pumpkins. And then you're fishing at the same time.
Wow.
With water-based cows. It is a mad dash. throws a lot at you. There's quite a lot to it, but it's very similar gameplay throughout. So you either keep matching the same kind of things together
Yeah.
to get more points. I mean, it was a mobile game, so you can imagine how it generally works.
Did you buy
So
this, James?
I did, at half price.
Ah.
It was still too much. But essentially, if you miss it, you miss it. It's not my point.
I like you get your catchphrase in there. It's good.
That's a great summary.
Yeah. Okay. Harvest Moon Mad Dash. And you can get that now. But if you miss it, as James said, you miss it.
And there's a review on site by Richard.
Ah.
I think that was at the end of last year.
Okay.
He didn't enjoy it either.
Oh,
Good. We'll look out for that.
I wish I read that first. My mistake.
I've played a lot of games this week, and I'm going to go through some of them. Lost Words Beyond the Page, which I think the review I did is up on the site. Yeah, I think it definitely is. Lost Words Beyond the Page, I saw in a preview event about 2 years ago when you could go to preview events. I did an interview with Rihanna Pratchett, and it basically is a platform game, a platform narrative adventure. You play a little girl called Izzy, and who's writing in her journal. And as she's writing in her journal, you're controlling her in the journal. So when words appear, you jump on the words. And it's all about how you interact with words. So in a simple way, you jump onto a word that might activate the next bit of the story. Or you might be able to, if a very simple thing in the journal, she's drawn a picture of a door, and then you might see the word open that you can just drag across and put it onto the image, and the door will open, things like that. And in the sort of real world of the journal, she's talking about her family and her grandma, who is a sort of almost like a best friend who she loves, and how her grandma tells her to be a writer. And so she writes this story about this fantasy world called Astoria, and that's where the sort of like the second part of the gameplay goes in. You go into this world and play in this, like it becomes very like a traditional platformer in this world of Astoria. But again, you can use words. You use words as spells. They're a little book of spells, and you could, for example, the word rise might be there, and if you've got a doorway that is opening, you drag the word across and it rises up. Or if you're standing on a block, you hover it under, it rises up. Or there might be the word break, and it will break rock or logs that you need to get across. And so it flips between these two worlds. And then something horrendous happens to her in the real world, and which of course affects onto the fantasy world. So it's all about, I suppose it's about being young, it's about grief, about dealing with people and the depression from that, and it's brilliantly done. Visually, it's great. The gameplay's really unique. The writing's brilliant. I had a lot of fun with it, and I think it's been out. It came first on Stadia, I think, and then went to Switch, and then it's here with us now. So it's a fantastic. It's a really good family game as well. I'd really recommend that. Lost Words Beyond the Page. Fantastic. Any questions, you two, from that? My brilliant analysis.
I mean, that sounds really good. Is it easy to figure out when you see the word and then applying it to the physical situation? Does it kind of work itself out when you get into it?
Really easy. Yeah. I think it's kind of aimed at a family kind of audience, so it's not as... Yeah, it's not very... It's not... I mean, I didn't get stuck, and that tells you a lot.
Enough said.
Yeah. But it's definitely worth a go. It's just really imaginative, and I really enjoy it.
How much is it?
I think it's about £16, $15.99, which is a good price for it.
It's worth it.
Yeah, it's a really good price for that.
Right, I think that.
For the 5 hours, 5 to 6. Yeah, it's good.
Sounds really cool.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really it's really worth going. It looked good when I saw it a couple of years ago, and it's kept up to that. I played with it then. Darren, what else have you got?
So another game I reviewed recently was Space Startopia. So it's a it's a reimagining of an old sim game that was released for PC around 20 years ago called Startopia. And essentially, you've got to run and manage a space station that takes in loads of alien visitors, and it's across 3 decks. So you've got like a general deck where there's healthcare facilities and places to sleep. There's a fun deck and then a bio deck. So the fun deck's got like an alien disco and arcade machines and all sorts, and then the bio deck's where you grow resources, and then you can take them down to the factory in the bottom deck to craft materials and whatnot. So it's really really vibrant, really enjoyable. Like it's got loads of different kind of aliens that will come on board and visit, and you can trade a bit later on with kind of different stations in kind of the local space area. So it's really, really good. It's not very complicated though, so it's quite easy to get to grips with. So it slowly kind of trickles new things in on every mission, but it never feels overwhelmingly complicated. Like once you're set up and you get into a good groove, it ticks along quite nicely. So it did lack a bit of challenge. It's not in the same space as kind of 2 Point Hospital, where it can get really, really challenging really quickly in some of the later levels, but enjoyable nonetheless. And for fans of the original, I think they'll enjoy it because they haven't reinvented the game at all, but they have kind of brought it up to date. So it was in game preview, and it was released just under a week ago, I think now.
Oh, okay. And did you review it?
Yeah, I reviewed it. So the review should be live on the site now. So I did a preview piece and then reviewed it. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what I gave it. I think it was 3.5 out of 5 in the end. Good.
Okay, Starship. Okay, I don't think I'd be playing that. I don't know why.
The only problem is it is quite expensive. So it's pushing 50 quid, which is a lot to ask for that game. Yeah, there's other games that are cheaper that you will get more out of. So yeah, it is a bit pricey.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you, Dan. James, what's your next one?
Well, my next game is free. If you've got Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
Octopath Traveler.
Oh, now I've got this downloaded, so I was really excited. I'm thinking I've got to give this a go.
If you get any questions, hold on to them.
Good.
But it's someone that you might know the answer. Hang on. I've not played lots of it, but I've put a few hours into it now.
Yeah.
It's an RPG, and my first problem was you've got 8 characters to pick from at the start, and they've each got their own stories and unique skills. So it took me a while to think, what do I go as? Do I have the warrior, the knight, the cleric? No, I went for the thief.
Doesn't surprise me.
And I'm glad I did, because it's quite an interesting little story so far. And this thief basically gets conned into stealing something from someone else. I won't say more.
Okay.
But it's the ability that it's got. It was quite interesting to me, because in the overworld, which is like a 3D world, even though it's 2D characters, so you're a 2D character in like a 3D environment. Okay. And when you're roaming around, you can interact with NPCs and you can steal off them. So within the first hour, I had an inventory full of health potions, or should I say plums. I think they were plums. I had swords. I had all sorts I found in people's pockets.
No, you didn't find. You stole.
Well, they weren't using them. But yeah, the combat's really strange as well, because it's turn-based.
Yeah.
You don't see their health bar, the opponent. You've got to break down their shield, and then work out their weaknesses, and just hope that you're killing them, which is different.
Okay. What do you mean? Like, so the shield's done. So what do you mean? Well, how would you work out their weakness at that point?
Well, they have so many weaknesses, and you've got different attacks. So if you try, like, a dagger attack, if they're weak to a dagger, it'll show you. And you can go, right, I'll stick with that then.
Oh, I see.
It's a bit of trial and error. But interestingly, there's a special character that later on you can use to uncover the health bar. I thought it's quite interesting.
Oh,
So a
good.
specific character that does it. Apparently all 8 characters intertwine along the way.
Right.
So it doesn't really matter which one you pick. You can enjoy all of them eventually.
Okay.
It is like an 8-hour game. It's huge.
Wow.
Absolutely
Wow.
huge. But so far it's great. It's gripping.
Okay, good.
Very good.
And that's free, isn't it? I'm intrigued by it. And
Okay, pass.
and Game Pass, okay. And it's got great reviews, isn't it? It's been out for a while on other formats, isn't it?
And it's living up to reviews, definitely.
Okay, good. Right, good. The next one is on Xbox Game Pass as well, and it came out last week, and it's Genesis Noir. And Genesis Noir came out, and I didn't really know anything about it, but I downloaded it. And first of all, it's unlike anything I've ever played. It's like a artist jazz album made by, I don't know, extreme performance artists in some kind of like, I don't know, New York trendy bar. I'm saying that in a bad way. It's brilliant. It looked
great.
It's fantastic. The animation is unbelievable, and the gameplay is just unlike anything else. It plays with the idea of the universe, and it has that noir feel. You play this sort of like almost like this kind of like this guy who's selling watches with a sort of hat and a jacket on in a sort of 1940s New York, black and white, and then you immediately go into this singer who's being shot by a jilted lover, and it freezes, and then you sort of go into the bullet ricochet world, and then that basically takes you into the universe, and then it explores black holes and quantum physics and everything else. But the gameplay is really just so unusually different and kind of mad. You're sort of solving puzzles, you're dragging things, it's unlike anything. I can't explain. You've got to play it. It's a really unusual kind of like sort of like art house movie. Really, it's amazing. It's probably at the moment my game of the year. I had such good fun with it. I think Dave Osborne, he's reviewed it for the site. I think he's given it a 4 out of 5. I think his criticism was it's quite abstract at times, and it is abstract, but I really like that. I really loved that. You know, at one point it was like a weird kind of like the Beatles used to do the big group. The Beatles used to do Yellow Submarine, and it was a cartoon. They did a film. It's like mad, kind of like weird graphics and cartoons. At one point, it's like that. It's music's great. Yeah, it's free on Xbox. You've got to do it, and it's by this kind of small group of artists in New York who are like a little collective of artists, of animators and game. They call themselves Something Shed. And it's just, I mean, it's a really interesting new way of making games, and I hope they do more. Yeah, give it a go.
It looked great. I was really interested as well when Dave got the review up. I'm going to give that a go. Make some time for it because it looks like something special, something unique, like you say.
Yeah, won't take you long. I think it took me about 3 to 4 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did it over the weekend.
Oh, nice.
I was hooked to it. I was very hooked as well. James, you saw me play it, didn't you? Did I stream it?
Yeah, you were quite confused.
Yeah.
But so was I.
Yeah.
So it was very strange.
Yeah.
But intriguing.
I was really confused in the beginning.
It helps to have something different.
It does.
And that looks very different.
And it doesn't give you any instructions at all.
No.
That's the hardest bit about it. You're like, what the hell?
No hand holding.
Nothing at all. Not even like press this button. You're like, yeah.
And you see that it was developed by Feral Cat Den.
Feral Cat Den, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, not Shed.
Yeah, not Shed. Den Shed. Now, James, you haven't got another game, but Darren, you got another one, haven't you?
Yeah, so talking of Game of the Year so far, this may well be mine. So it's It Takes Two, um, which is a kind of a cooperative adventure which came out very recently. So I remember seeing the trailer for this, and it just looks brilliant. So essentially, there's a little family, two parents and a daughter, and the parents are gearing up to get divorced, essentially. And the daughter makes a wish for them to stay together, and she has little dolls that she's created, little rag dolls of them. And then the parents both kind of go to sleep and wake up, and they are in these dolls, and they're miniaturized in a kind of a Honey I Shrunk the Kids scenario. And then it's a great story around them kind of rediscovering their relationship with each other and working together. And there's this mad enchanted book of love that kind of taunts them and guides them through all these different tests, and kind of puts barriers up until he thinks they're kind of ready to kind of work together. It's just brilliant. And in terms of the gameplay, every kind of level or segment is different. So you'll get different weapons, you'll get different equipment. So there's always something new, and it mixes up the gameplay each time. So it's a platformer at its core, but it just keeps going, and it's just so creative. It's really ridiculously creative, actually. I can't recommend it enough. It's absolutely fantastic, and the voice acting is brilliant. Really strong script as well. It's yeah, it's great. I love everything about it. It's just one of those games that you can lose a few hours to and it makes you smile because it's just brilliant.
Oh, we gave it 5, didn't we? I think 5
Yeah,
out of 5.
yeah.
I really want to play. Now, I'm going to ask on this podcast, James, will you, if I buy it, will you play it with me?
Yeah.
Here we go. We've got it recorded there and then.
I might buy it this weekend, James. Do you fancy you around this weekend? We could do
Yeah,
it. Good. There you go.
It was good fun.
Yeah.
You won't
We're
regret
like
it.
a way out.
Yeah, we like to wear
The
it,
way
don't
out
we?
was, yeah.
Good.
It was hard work with you, but it's still fun. Like a challenge.
I've got one small other game to talk about before we move on. Paradise Lost is a game I reviewed on the site as well. I think it came out last week. It's a game by a Polish developer, and it's set in a kind of alternate history where the Nazis have sort of won the Second World War, survived the Second World War, and then they nuclear bombed everything, the whole of Europe. And you play a kind of young boy who sort of like travels the kind of wastelands and then finds a bunker, basically. And you're looking for what you think might be your father, or this man, and they find the truth because your mum's died now. And you go on this kind of journey. And it's like a first person kind of almost narrative exploration, almost like a walking sim, even though they hate that word. And he goes through this kind of world and tries to work out the truth, and then a voice starts speaking to him on the speakers, and then he goes in there. What's really worth talking about this is it looks amazing. It looks like a AAA game at times. The visuals are just brilliant, and by a kind of indie developer, it's an amazing feat, and also for a game that I think is about £11 on Xbox One. I think it's really cheap. It's like, and it'd take you 3 to 4 hours maybe if you want to kind of like a narrative kind of journey. I've really enjoyed it. It's sort of like story's intriguing. It's very kind of like moving a bit like BioShock, a bit like Metro last night has hints of that as well.
Oh, yeah, that sounds really good.
Yeah, it's good. It's really cheap. Yeah, it's worth.
Do you get any puzzles?
There are puzzles in it as well. Yeah,
oh,
little puzzles.
I've got my attention.
Yeah,
something for everyone.
It's good, very good. Let's move on to the news. There's no news. There's hardly anything. There's hardly anything this week because we had a massive week last week with all these announcements, and there's nothing really going on at the moment. What we do know, let's talk through Games for Gold first of all. Just got released for April. What did we get in that? Can we remember? I should have written this down.
Yeah, probably not worth remembering, but we've got Vikings, Truck Racing, Dark Void, which I remember when it was released, but I don't think I really kind of put any time into it. And the fourth one escapes me. Hard Corps Uprising as well.
Okay.
Nothing really. Well, I might be doing them a disservice, but nothing really that stands out for me. I don't know about what you think, James.
Well, truck racing interests me because when I'm playing any racing game, I usually think, "Wow, this handles so badly. It's like a truck." So if I play a game where it's completely trucks, I'm sure it'll be enjoyable or a waste of time. But we'll find out.
Well, you don't have to spend $60 on it because apparently
I
that's its
know.
value. So a bit of a saving there.
It was horrendously priced, so no surprise it's worth free.
It's weird with good games for gold because I now forget to even download them or put them in the thing because I forget that it's a thing because of Game Pass. But yeah, but on Game Pass today we've got their big. We don't know what's coming out for the rest of the month. They haven't announced it yet because they've got their big one, which is Outriders today on April the 1st.
Yeah,
which is
huge.
which I've played today and done a little stream for it. For 45, I did an hour. I did the first hour. No, James has played the beta. Have you played the beta, Darren?
No, it's one that I really want to get into, and it's great news that it's kind of out on Game Pass on release. But I still need to download it and make some time for it. But I know a few of us are looking to put a bit of time into it, so I'm going to try and jump on board and hopefully over this weekend start checking it out.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's really good. I think it drew me to the world. I was kind of, I mean, like you said before, I think James, you played like Gears a bit, doesn't it? And it feels very much like that. It doesn't feel like this gen game, to whatever this gen is. It feels like an old gen game, not like Xbox 360. It feels like, and it has this thing when it keeps going. It does cutscenes, but it has that thing when it goes to black, and then the cutscene happens every 5 minutes. But the gameplay and the world is still really intrigues you, doesn't it? I think it grabs you. There's something about it that grabs you from you. You kind of want to carry on.
Yeah, even some of the cutscenes are quite interesting.
Yeah, and the characters are good, and the world they've created is great. Yeah, so there's something I really like.
The characters don't look great, but the actual, the action's quite cool.
Yeah. No, it's good. I've enjoyed my first hour.
Can I ask what class you chose?
I don't know. I just was doing anyone. The fire one.
You were doing anyone.
The fire one. What's the fire one called?
Pyromancer.
Okay, that one.
I went that one.
Okay,
it's
good.
Great.
Yeah, good. That's as far as I got, and I stopped at that point. I'll stop here. PlayStation Plus games. What are you sighing for? Dan's got a PlayStation.
Because they're so good.
They are good, aren't they?
They are good.
We've got Abe's Odyssey. Is that what it's called? Abe's Odyssey.
It's
Oddworld.
Yeah, Oddworld Soulstorm. So it's a remake of Abe's Exodus, which was the second game released for the PlayStation all those years ago in the late 90s.
Wow. So that's coming on the 6th, so that's going to be really good fun. And then we've got two others. I think we've got Days Gone.
Zombie Army 4,
yeah.
Oh, yes.
That's good. Yeah, that's great. And Days Gone, which I've played before. And I really liked for about 10 minutes. And it was so weirdly buggy. It put me off. It's very buggy. Have you played it, Darren?
No, I've not played Days Gone, if I'm being honest. Again, something I've liked the look of, put it on the list, and never got around to playing.
I think it's worth it because I think they've done changes to it now. I think they've updated some stuff with the new PS5. So, the world's great. The world and the kind of built environment around it was great, but it was a very buggy. But that's good. That's the 3 games for them.
Is Oddworld PlayStation 5 exclusive? Or PlayStation 4 as well?
I think it's just PS5.
Hello.
Oh, delivery.
Yeah, I think it's just PS5, James, from what I've seen.
That's a shame. Can be tempted just to fire up the PlayStation 4 for that one.
Yeah. Well, no, I think it is. I think that's what they're doing every month. They have one PlayStation 5 game, don't they? I think we're getting a delivery. This is good. This is good for the podcast. Can you hear it? This is what it's like.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? So we're all going to guess.
Is that the quiz?
Yeah. So there were the two other ones. There was another bit of thing. Elder Scrolls Online, which is very popular. I don't know if you two have played
Is
it.
it?
Well, apparently so. Yeah.
I played it when it was free for one weekend,
Right.
and it was the buggiest mess I've ever played.
I think a lot of people agree with you, James.
It was a nightmare. Absolute nightmare.
Well, that's coming
I
to
deleted it.
Xbox Series X in June. You'll be pleased to know, James. You won't be playing that.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right, let me know when it is. I can avoid it.
No Man's Sky has got a new little mode called Expeditions, and that's basically you can join up with someone and go on a mission, I think, can't you? You can do a mission together.
Yeah, it looks quite interesting. So again, there's quite a lot of games we're talking about where they started off not in a great place. It's probably fair to say. And as is the case with modern games, they've had updates and patches to try and bring them round. And yeah, it looks really interesting. And it's been nearly 5 years. I think it's 5 years this year since it was originally released. So it's kind of stayed the course and kind of gathered a bit of a following as they've really invested in the game.
Now, I've told everyone this before, but I first got it on PS4. I think I did 30 hours. Lost the save. Then got it on Xbox One. Did about 10 or 15 hours. And then the new Xbox Series X, I started again because I had to. So I've done 3 different builds of this now. So I'm on to my 3rd build. And I went back to the other day and thought, oh, God, I still don't know what's going on. I can't remember anything. It was a great game. It's a great game. Other news. Cyberpunk, CD Projekt Red. I think they sort of maybe hinted that they were in a little bit. There was a hint that the multiplayer, which was always meant to be coming, is maybe not going to happen. Is that the rumours? That's what I've read from this.
It's a shame, really, isn't it? Because it's just been absolutely marred with problems since the beginning. I don't think it's even come back onto the PlayStation Store yet. When Sony made that kind of unprecedented move to take it down because of all the issues. There was a huge update, wasn't there, yesterday, the day before? It was 40 gig or something mad. That has supposedly fixed a load of bugs in the hundreds, but there's others that have kind of cropped up. So it just feels like a never-ending jigsaw puzzle at the moment to get it right.
Yeah. It's still a good game. I had a great lot of fun with it, and there's a lot of great stuff in that game completely, but I just think it's just going forward, isn't it? About if the multiplayer, I think the worst thing for that game to do is to release the multiplayer and it's completely broken.
Yeah.
Start again.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Also, we know that they're going to be doing the next Witcher game in 2022. I think, aren't they? I think they said they were making. Started it, yeah.
I'm going to say, definitely that quick with it.
It'll be 2077 when it's released. Yeah.
I know, absolutely. Right, we are going to do a quiz because there's not much news at the moment. Are you ready for a quiz? Now we're doing a quiz.
What kind of quiz?
It's the same one I do every time. The only quiz I know. So the quiz is: I've gone on to Metacritic and I've picked 5 games. And I've got the comments from not the critics, but on the other side, the individuals like me or you. Definitely not me and you, some of them. Some of them might be... some of them are characters, might say. And it's their opinions about the games. They've written some reviews. So what I've done is I've picked 5 comments from the games that from quite hard to guess what the game is to quite easy at the end. If you can guess it on the first clue, then you'll get 5 points. If you get it on the last one, you get 1 point. And there's a bonus point for guessing the Metacritic users review, the average score.
Okay.
The closest to that. Is that clear, Darren? Because you've not played this before. James has played this before.
No, I'll give it a go. I'm not going to promise anything.
And when I give you the clue, you have 1 guess each. Does that make sense? Not 1 guess each for the whole game, but 1 guess each for each clue. Yeah, exactly. Right, I need to write something down. I've got that. Let me do it. Let me just get a pen. Hold on, you two. Talk amongst yourself. Get yourself warmed up. Get your minds warmed up.
You're going down, Darren.
I'm going to be silent, and if I lose, then that's fine. And if I win, then it'll be a surprise victory.
James,
I'm devastated to lose.
James has won one already. Have you won one? Okay, good. Go down. Right, the first clue.
Yes.
An awesome game. The flow of the story is nice. It all gives you a reason to continue the game. At the end, we feel the characters close to us. The gameplay is also well detailed and fun. So, Darren, you can guess first.
I'm just going to say It Takes Two, because that sounds like what I've played recently.
No, good. But it's not right.
No, okay.
James.
Is it Dragon Age Inquisition?
Oh. No, I think that's a pure guess, but I like it. I like it a lot. That's what I like. Okay. That's good. The first clue. This is good for the people who are listening. It's good for them because they get to hear more. Question 2. Very well executed and not too repetitive, unlike most games in this genre. Great story, although I really didn't like how the end is forced upon you. James, you can guess now.
Is it Telltale The Walking Dead?
Oh, that's a good guess. That's a really good. No, but no.
Okay.
That's a good.
I have no idea. No idea at all. I'll say BioShock Infinite. No idea.
No, again, but very good guess as well, because that has the end is forced upon you. Good. Next one. Just for 3 points. I'm reading this verbatim, right?
Okay.
This game is suck so hard, and the zombie have too much damage to hit me, and when I shot them, I have to use a lot of ammo to kill them, and sometimes they kill me in one hit kill, so don't buy this game. Darren, you'll go.
I will go with State of Decay 2, as a guess.
No, good guess though, no. James.
World War Z?
No, good guess though. Good guess.
Love better World War Z.
I love this game is suck so hard. This game is suck it so hard. Right, next one. The story is pure gold, 10 out of 10. But the game itself is a bit self-repeating, and the puzzles are mostly move ladder one place to the next place. So for these reasons, 1 point drops from the final estimate. Is it James?
That's really got me now. It's wrong, but I'll go with Zombie Army Trilogy.
Oh, no, it's not. I don't remember moving ladders.
No.
Darren.
It's the ladder that's throwing me. I can't think. I've absolutely no idea at all. I can't even guess at that.
No guess? No worries. Okay, for 1 point. The story, and this is Darren first, isn't it?
Oh, no pressure.
The story is the best I've ever played. The relationship between Joel and Ellie is just captivating. Amazing gameplay with an amazing story.
I do know this song. It is The Last of Us. Good,
well done, Darren.
That's one.
1 point. Yeah, the ladders were a bit of a clue, but it's hard. James, do you want to guess the? You go first at guessing the score. I thought you'd gone. I thought you hung up.
82.
Yep. Darren, you'll go. Or do you want to go higher or lower than that?
Is this the user score?
Yeah, this is the.
Yeah. I'll go a bit higher. I'll go 90.
Yeah, it's 9.2. So that's 2 points.
Yeah, sorry.
2 points for Darren.
I forgot it's in points.
It's all right. It's the same thing. Good. Well, that's all right. There's plenty. It's not. No one's gone away with it.
Darren.
Well done. Yeah.
Good start.
Thank you.
Next one. Clue 1. Who's going first? You have to remind me because I always forget.
Me, is it?
Yeah,
I
good.
think.
James's turn, yeah.
Yeah.
How on earth anyone can rate this game highly is beyond me. I went to a friend's house, and their game played the same. This will be a great game if the choppy, jerky camera was sorted out. It's going back tomorrow, and is the biggest disappointment of the year for me.
It's definitely Destiny.
Good guess, but no. Darren, what's your go?
I think I might guess Anthem.
Another good guess, but no. Good. Second one. Picture Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings and Batman and Star Wars and Beowulf mixed with Elder Scrolls. Darren.
I don't know. Immortals.
No. Good. James?
Batman. Harry Potter.
Lord of the Rings, Batman and Star Wars and Beowulf mixed with Elder Scrolls. It doesn't mean it is these things. This is what someone thought.
No.
Yeah.
I think what would make me really... No. I've no idea. Not a clue.
Okay, good. We're going to go down to the third clue. It took me around 3 months to finally beat the last campaign mission, and I still have a ton of side quests and the incoming expansions to look forward to. This game is behemoth in scope, dangerously addictive, and is packed with hundreds of hours of content. James.
It's wrong. I'll go with The Witcher 3.
Well done, James. Great.
Hey.
Well
good guess.
done. Good, 3 points.
Whenever I'm not convinced, I always seem to get it right.
Yeah. The last two clues were
lucky.
the best RPG and open world game ever made, great story and storytelling, great side quests, great monsters, great open world. And the last one was, what also helps is that Gerald seems to have a beard in this one. I'm a fan of beards. I find them comforting.
I couldn't work out how that one fit into it.
I know. I think
That was the only confusing bit, really.
That was the red herring for sure.
Darren, do you want to have a guess at the score, first of all?
I'll say 9.4.
James, what are you going to go for?
9.3.
James is the winner, 9.2.
Oh, well done.
Well done. Right, 4-2 to James. That's it. Good. Third one. Buggy, unfinished, graphics are okay, has improved, but still not a smooth gameplay experience. And I think, who's first? Is it Darren now? Yeah.
I think so. I'll go Anthem again.
No, it's not Anthem.
No.
James?
Assassin's Creed.
No.
Unity.
No. Good guess though. Number 2. This game is a broken shit of a game that left a bad taste in my mouth. Never in my life have I wanted $30 back so badly. James.
Is it any of the WWE 2K games?
No.
Or all of them?
Yeah. No. Darren?
I'll guess No Man's Sky because we talked about it earlier.
No, good guess though. Next one. Every match I've played in this game ends in either getting killed as soon as I land, getting killed by network lag detected screen popping up every 5 minutes. Darren.
Is it PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds?
It is, yes.
I don't know.
Well
Is
done.
even that a Fortnite?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought as soon as I heard that. Yeah.
The next one was, I like this game and Fortnite the exact same. I see them both as garbage, but I embrace them always. And the last one was the one who made Battle Royales popular, the father of them all, recommended. Okay, so that's 3 for Darren. And what's your score, James? What are you going to go for this one? What do you think?
It'll be lower, I think so. 8.2.
Oh, Darren?
I'll go 7.5.
It's a 4.9, so Darren gets it. Yeah.
That low?
Yeah.
Really?
Wow. So 6-4. Very close. This is very close. Next game. Got 2 more games.
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to like this game, as I enjoyed the first half of the last game until it got too hard and I had to quit. Who's first? It's James now, isn't
Yeah. Dark Souls 2?
No. Darren?
Doom Eternal?
No, good. Second one. Incredibly funny and smart game. The story is a simple one of the best of the current games. Must buy. Darren.
Oh, that doesn't really give much away. No idea. No guess from me.
James.
Would you read that again?
Yeah, incredibly funny and smart game. The story is simply one of the best of the current games. Must buy.
Borderlands 2?
No. Good. Next one. No killing, no swearing, just humorous, innovative gameplay that never leaves you feeling frustrated. Every time you finish a puzzle, you feel like you just got much better at the game, which is a great feeling. James.
Trying for?
No. Darren?
I can't think of anything. My mind's gone blank. I'm going to have to pass again.
It's alright, it's okay. Good. Next one. Valve literally did nothing with this game. It is actually underrated. The game is better than any Call of Duty, and it kills any other platformer. Darren.
It must be Portal in that case.
It's not Portal.
Oh.
God. James.
Is it a technicality? Is it Portal 2?
It's Portal 2. Oh, it's so cool. What do we think? What do you think?
I knew you'd know it, Darren, and I hoped you'd go for the first one.
Oh, God, I'm so sorry. It's so cool.
That's the way it goes sometimes.
I think it's
I'm glad Gareth didn't really give it away. I'll break the rules.
Oh, sorry. I'm so well. This is good. This makes it better for the thing because it's very close for the last one.
This is tense. It's in from
What's the
player to
score?
player.
A bonus one. I think who guesses first on the bonus now?
James, I think.
James. What are we going for?
I think it's Darren.
Oh, Darren, you do it.
That's it. Okay. I will say 9.0.
Okay. James.
Ooh. You were cheeky. 8.9.
Oh, it's evil. It's evil. It's 8.5. James just got it. Evil. Okay, so it's 7-6 to James. So it all depends on this last one. I like this. This is very tense.
It's a close one. Whoever wins has both done really well.
I agree. Let's see if we think that after this question.
Number 1. I went into this game with high hopes, just to have all these hopes smacked down to the ground. I've heard multiple people praise it as if it was the holy grail of gaming, but I call bullshit. And who's first? I think it's Darren first, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I think it is Darren. 'Cause Darren started, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll say the Last of Us Part 2.
Do you think I'll do that? Evil, I'll do that. No.
I don't know it anymore.
James.
Is it Halo 4?
No. No, good. Number 2. There's a giant raven early on, and if you just sit and watch it, you see it go through only 3 animations. That wouldn't be so bad if they're actually natural looking instead of look down, look up, look right, and it just repeats. James?
That's a very weird thing to point out in a game. Elder Scrolls, Oblivion.
No. Darren?
No word of a lie, I was about to guess Skyrim before you said that, so I'm going to say Skyrim.
No.
Oh.
Okay, just dropped my pencil. Next one. Dying has never been more fun. This game is like no other. Atmosphere, the feeling of the fantasy world is outstanding. The fact that you can never truly relax will have you on the edge of your seat. Darren.
I don't know. Assassin's Creed Origins?
No. James.
The Dark Souls 3.
No. Number 4. A masterpiece. The game treats gamers like actual grown people. It doesn't treat you like you're stupid. Perfect combat, interesting lore, epic bosses, beautiful art. Not recommended for wimpy people. James.
Is it Ghost of Tsushima?
No.
Oh no.
Darren.
Is it Demon's Souls?
No.
Oh.
Last one.
Good guess, Darren. Good guess.
Do not be fooled by angry rage quitters, 10-year-olds and bad players. This game is hard, but it won't hold your hand. It will not make your opponent easier so you can beat it. You'll not be able to hack and slash everything with one sword swing and fight 10 enemies at a time. Darren.
I've no idea.
Hard.
Yeah, I still can't get it, even with all the clues. I'll have to pass.
James.
Bloodborne?
No. So none of you got it. It's as cruel, but I think it's Dark Souls.
Oh.
I thought as much.
I was quite quick as well, and I went no as well, so I didn't click on. Yeah. So that was good.
Fair enough.
Whose go is it to name the score? I can't remember. I think it's James. Yeah, because James went the first time. Yeah. James, go for it.
The original Dark. In that time, I bet they were quite harsh. 7.2.
Okay. Darren?
I'll say 8.0.
It's 8.7, so Darren gets a point. So the final scores are 7 all. I haven't got a tiebreaker. We'll have to call it a draw.
Yeah, it's a draw.
Well done, you two.
Well done, Darren.
Well done. That's good.
Result, I think.
Very good.
Hard fought contest.
Yeah, it
It
was.
was.
Very quickly before we go, what are you looking forward to next week? To play?
Not a lot.
Not a lot, James. So what about you, Darren?
It's Oddworld Soulstorm for me. Can't wait to play that.
I think I'm looking at. I might play Disco Elysium as well on the PlayStation. I might think about getting that because I'm looking forward to that.
Outriders.
Outriders, more of that.
Yes.
It Takes Two.
It Takes Two. Yeah, we
Okay,
played that
yeah.
as well. That's good. Right, we're going to go. But thank you, Darren. Where can we find you if we need to talk to you?
So my Twitter handle is @27Darren.
Good. And James, what about you?
As always, it's @OKGKO on Instagram and Twitter.
Good. And you can find me on Twitter and Twitch @GBBriley. But for now, gentlemen, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
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 You've been listening to the official podcast of TheXboxHub.com. You'll be able to find all the notes of this show at www.thexboxhub.com. thexboxhub.com/podcast. You can also check out our social feeds on Instagram and Twitter at The Xbox Hub, and search for The Xbox Hub on Facebook.